And I guess I should say I loaded up the Disney collection.
Oh, that was when I almost pulled the trigger on, but I do have it on Steam. So
because the Lion King, Aladdin, and now Jungle Book.
Collection.
Well, they added the good Aladdin game.
They added the Super Nintendo version of Aladdin.
I thought you were talking about Disney Morning Collection.
No, I was not talking about Disney Morning. No.
Or Afternoon Collection, whatever.
Disney Afternoon. Yeah. No, this is the Aladdin, Lion King.
So listen,
Jungle Book.
Yeah.
Now Jungle Book
too, because I grabbed the DLC as well.
I did as well.
Book
Me
on
too.
there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the Super Nintendo Aladdin.
Yes.
I've played through both Aladdins last week. And man, I
you hate to admit it, but I'm right.
No, I don't. Aladdin on the Super Nintendo is a boring game.
Ugh.
It's a very boring game. I'm not saying Aladdin Genesis is the best game ever.
No.
Right.
But
because it's bad.
Man, it is.
Aladdin on the Genesis
boring.
has a really good first level. It makes a really good first impression. And then those later levels
looks and sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
It absolutely does.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. I wouldn't even say it sounds beautiful.
Well,
sounds better than the Super Nintendo game, but it doesn't sound beautiful.
Yeah.
No, because I even on the flight, I was like, I took advantage of the fact that I could use my Bluetooth headset on my Switch. Because the Switch is that same old thing where if you plug in a headset, you can't turn it up very loud.
Yeah.
So, but on Bluetooth, you can. So I did that. Loved it. So happy about that. Ended up playing through. This was before the DLC, so I ended up playing through Aladdin.
Yeah.
The Genesis version.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's not a perfect game for sure. No.
Especially later stages that are just cut and paste.
See, I don't agree with that, but anyway, then the DLC came out, and this past week I streamed and I played through the Super Nintendo version of Aladdin.
Oh, yeah,
and then played through a big chunk of the Genesis version too, just for people on the stream to get a look at it.
Right.
And man, just the Super Nintendo game is not great. It's just not. It's slow.
Yeah.
It's doesn't control well. It doesn't sound good. It's the worst, tiniest kind of Super Nintendo music ever. And it's just not one of Capcom's good games. That's all I'm saying.
For as much as we like to goof around those two games, the dark secret is none of them are actually very good.
Yeah, see, I disagree with that too. But
really?
Yeah, the Genesis game is good.
The Lion King game.
The Lion King is terrible.
No.
They're way too hard.
Boy, the Jungle Book game.
Oh, that's awful.
It's terrible.
Man, yeah, I was not ready for how not good that game was.
Yeah. It's
I played a little bit. I was like, "Ooh, this is."
It's really
people remember that Lion King game for that one level that takes people forever.
The giraffe heads.
Is
it the giraffe heads?
Or the one where you're running towards the camera from the Stampede?
No, it's not the Stampede level.
Oh, okay.
No, it's the giraffe heads.
People remember,
right?
Okay. The I can't wait to be king level.
Yes. Oh my god.
Yeah. But yeah, none of those games are very. Yeah, and I genuinely don't much like the Genesis Aladdin.
I think the thing is with the Genesis Aladdin, and you and I pretty much see eye to eye on this. If you don't like Euro platformers, well, it's hard to love Genesis Aladdin because it is a Euro platformer.
That's the problem with a lot of those Virgin games.
Yeah.
You know,
agreed.
You know, the Earthworm Jim games have that problem. Nick and Mac, Global Gladiators has that problem.
But I think it bothers you more than it bothers me.
Oh, it absolutely does.
Because I'm, like I said, played through it. Now, one thing that collection has that something else that I played this week doesn't have that I wish it did is it has a rewind function.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which really comes in handy.
Yeah.
Correct.
Especially in The Lion King.
Well, with that, you can just rewind it to the start of the game and then turn it right off.
Yeah.
Oh, you can just watch it be played. Yeah,
that's true.
Watch mode.
That's something else that they added. Yeah.
So I bought the DLC on that.
I did too.
Even though I just basically wanted for Aladdin, Genesis Aladdin, and that's it.
Yeah, which didn't require the DLC.
Didn't require the DLC at all. But
nope.
I've never actually played Aladdin from the Super Nintendo, so
yeah, it's about 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's not.
It's that short? What?
It's not Capcom's best.
I think for me too, the big thing is, and we were talking about Disney Afternoon Collection, there are some great Capcom Disney games.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And that's what I wanted their Aladdin game to be. And it's just not even in the same ballpark.
It still boggles my mind that Capcom hasn't bothered porting that to Switch. It seems like such an obvious kind of gimme port.
Yeah.
And they haven't done it. And I would imagine
I'm sure it's
going
money.
to at this point.
I'm sure it's money.
Yeah. I mean,
it all comes down to I'm sure they signed the deal with Disney before the Switch was announced. And
you think it's like they can't?
I think that they can't without going to renegotiate. Yeah. And they probably don't want to do that. So
that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
It's a shame though, because
that'd be my speculation. I have no idea. Just to
it is a fantastic collection of some fantastic games.
Yeah.
Also, I would buy it again. I mean, I own it on another console, but I'd buy it again.
I came very close to buying it. Like I said, I have the Switch. I have the PC version, Steam version.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if it was on Switch like I said, I came very close to buying it again this week. I talked myself out of it.
Or are you going to get like the PlayStation version or something?
PlayStation, I think it was, yeah.
Huh.
Well, there you go.
Alrighty, so Greg,